Sydney and Perth, two iconic Aussie cities, each with their own vibe, but when you stack them head to head, which one truly delivers? On one side, we have Sydney, Australia's dazzling coastal metropolis. On the other, Perth, the sunniest, most laid-back city on the continent. Let's skip the tourist brochures and Instagram highlights and dig into the real differences. We'll score each category, and by the end, you'll know exactly which city comes out on top in 2026. The winner might just surprise you. Okay, here's the mind map of what we're comparing. Cost of living, the housing market, weather and climate, beaches, transportation and tolls, population and size, safety and quality of life, jobs and economy, location and accessibility, plus lifestyle and culture. So we're covering everything you'd want to know before making the big move. Sound good? Alright, let's get started. Let's kick things off with cost of living. Sydney, wow, what can I say? There's no denying it's expensive. Like, it's 6% pricier than Perth on average, and housing costs are almost double. If you're hunting for a deal, Sydney's not exactly it unless those higher salaries totally swing it for you. Now Perth, oh man, you get way more bang for your buck. We're talking 6% cheaper overall, 22% less for public transport, and housing that's just way more reasonable, especially for students or anyone on a budget. Yeah, you'll see fewer job offers compared to Sydney, maybe not as many megabucks rolls, but your wallet definitely breathes easier in Perth. So, cost of living winner, that's Perth. Alright, housing market, let's get into it. Sydney's got this wild reputation. It's like both a nightmare and a goldmine depending on your angle. It's solid for investment and you can probably find a rental, sure, but the property price to income ratio is just bananas, like over 12 versus only 6 in Perth. Unless you're rolling in cash, buying there is rough. Now Perth's market, way less intense, especially for first-time buyers or renters. It's affordable, has decent value, and it's not nearly as cutthroat. Fewer luxury options and not as much variety, okay, but for most people the price is right. Perth wins, hands down. Now, weather and climate, everyone's got a strong opinion about this. Sydney keeps things pretty moderate. Summers are nice, temperature stays kinda steady, and in general, it's a climate you can plan your outfits around, right? But Perth, oh man, Perth. Wanna live somewhere with sunshine basically built into the city? It's officially the sunniest capital in Australia with over 8 hours a day. Sometimes, yeah, it gets scorching up to 45 degrees. So if you're sun-powered, you'll love Perth, but if you melt in heat, maybe not so much. Winters get wet too. Still, overall, that consistent sunshine vibe, Perth grabs the win. Oh, and here's something cool and maybe a bit wild. Sydney and Perth are over 4,000 kilometers apart. Like, literally across the country from each other. So in case you thought you could just pop over for a weekend, think again. Next up, beaches. Sydney has Bondi, Manly, all the iconic names. Let's be honest, the beach lifestyle in Sydney is legendary. And this is a big but everyone and their cousin goes there when the weather's nice. Tourists flock and sometimes it's just straight up crowded. In contrast, Perth's beaches, they're gorgeous like Cottesloe and Scarborough, and the best part is they're rarely busy. You can actually spread out your towel, enjoy a surf, and not bump elbows with everyone. Maybe Perth's not as famous globally for its beach culture, but really, who cares if you're not fighting for sand space? For relaxing beach vibes, it's gotta be Perth. Let's talk transportation and tolls. Sydney is huge and honestly its public transport web is pretty impressive. You can get almost anywhere, but here's the kicker: tolls. So many tolls. If you own a car, be ready to pay up, and traffic? Yeah, not great. Perth though is nowhere near as complicated. No tolls or super minimal at most, way less headache to drive. Public transport is 32% cheaper and your commute probably won't make you want to scream. Small caveat, you might need a car in some suburbs, but overall, getting around Perth is more affordable and honestly just less hassle. Perth wins again. Moving on to population and size. Sydney's got that big city hustle, 5.4 million people, super diverse, there's always something happening, jobs, entertainment, the works. But not gonna lie, it can feel packed. Like crowded and everywhere you go busy. Perth is more like, let's take it easy. 9 million folks, things are slower, less crowded, and if you're into that more relaxed, manageable city life, Perth wins your heart. But if you want endless opportunities and don't mind the rush, Sydney still takes this one. For sheer size and possibilities, Sydney's the winner. Safety and quality of life, ooh, this is important. Sydney is objectively safe, high safety index, well policed, all of that. But when you look at quality of life, Perth actually beats it. The atmosphere is just friendlier. People seem more chilled out, the vibe is super laid back, and it just feels more peaceful. Even if the official numbers rate Sydney higher on safety, most people in Perth will tell you they feel safer, which counts for a lot. For that relaxed, top-notch quality of life, Perth gets the win. Jobs and economy, alright, now the tables turn a bit. Sydney is a powerhouse, huge GDP, higher average salaries, tons of different jobs, and if you're climbing the career ladder, it's pretty much the spot. The job market is competitive, not gonna sugarcoat that, and qualifications matter, but opportunity is king here. Now, Perth's got a growing economy, especially strong with resources and mining, plus your money goes further thanks to higher purchasing power. But there just aren't as many jobs overall or as much variety. If the grind excites you, Sydney clinches this category. Location and accessibility, this one's honestly a no-brainer. Sydney is right on the east coast, you can hop on a flight to Melbourne, Queensland, wherever, and you're not isolated from the rest of the country. Connectivity is a massive plus. Meanwhile, Perth is really out there, over 4,000 kilometers away from Sydney. You're basically cut off from most of Australia, and travel to other cities isn't just tough, it's pricey. If isolation is your thing, cool, but most people want options. Sydney takes the win here. Lifestyle and culture, maybe the most fun category. Sydney is the nightlife and entertainment capital. World-class restaurants, events, museums, big concerts, all that big city glitz. But it's also fast-paced, sometimes stressful, and a little less community feel. Perth, meanwhile, is straight-up relaxing. People actually talk to you in the shops, the pace is slower, you get a genuine work-life balance, and it just feels easier to breathe. Yeah, there's less to do at 2 a.m., but for a more peaceful, happy life, Perth wins, no question. Looking at our radar chart, you can really see where each city shines. Perth keeps nabbing those wins in affordability, beaches, lifestyle, that warm weather, while Sydney pulls ahead when you look at jobs, size, and world-class connections. So, massive life decision time. If you're all about your career, want non-stop entertainment, and love world-class convenience, Sydney's got your back. But if you're after financial freedom, want the sun on your face, and seriously just want to actually relax for once, Perth is calling your name. Sydney's perfect for hustlers, Perth for anyone craving balance. If you found this comparison helpful, definitely subscribe for more city breakdowns like this one. See you in the next video.